fellow Africans, since 1957, when Ghana gained independence, there has been quite a lot of political, social, economic indicators on the African continent that show that Africa has progressed from pre-independence Africa to post-independence Africa.
Ghana, your beloved country, is free forever. From now on, there is a new African in the world. That new African is ready to fight his own battle and show that after all, the black man is capable of managing his own affairs.
66 years down the road, Africa finds itself with the first country, Ghana, having gained independence. We find ourselves still locked up, controlled, manipulated, instructed, logistically supplied, equipped by foreign powers that dictate our agenda. Africa is endowed with plenty of minerals, resources, good weather. The climate is so favorable for the growth of food enough to sustain us. But we find ourselves in countries where hunger is killing people. Hunger is killing people because most of the people have taken to arms to fight wars, conflicts. Starvation has taken the place of development. In most African countries like Sudan, South Sudan, Central African Republic, Cameroon, Nigeria, in Biafra, and north of Nigeria there is Boko Haram, Somalia in the Horn of East Africa. We have taken to conflict instead of development. Development was the key indicator. When Kwame Nkrumah made the first speech that seek ye African political unity, economic development will come automatically, he was right. The events happening in Libya today vindicates Nkrumah, vindicates Nyerere, Sekou Toure, and NASA, the founding fathers of our Pan-Africanism. The events happening in Central African Republic, in Congo today, as the war of rebels ranges on between the rebel and the rebels and the government and the government, and the rebels vindicates the founding fathers of this revolution. Our independence, therefore, was only on paper. Our independence, therefore, was only in symbols. Our independence also...
A very good morning to you, and thank you so much for finding time to be with us. This is Kenya and Africa at a glance. My name is Miriam Gutu, and we're coming to you all the way from Kenya's capital here in Nairobi. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're tuned in today. As usual on the show, I'll get to bring us the headlines by taking us through the leading newspapers in the country and a few from different countries from across the continent, and then we shall pick our conversation based on what we have today as the current news in the country and across Africa. We'll start with the Daily Nation from Kenya, The main headline, Uhuru to endorse Raila at Sagana 3. The Sagana State Lodge has on at least 2 occasions been the president's preferred launch pad for political offensives. Here, on the rainy slopes of Mount Kenya, he somehow finds the courage and rich vocabulary to shepherd his flock. This time round, just a few days before the Jubilee NDC, the president is publicly taking the war to his deputy. The story is on page 4 on the Daily Nation. As third patient cured of HIV, Kenyan researcher studies the use of antiretroviral drugs. The story is on page 2 and 3 on the Standard. AU summit must address COVID vaccine inequality. That is an opinion piece by Dr. Penina Luting. A new lease of life at NAT, that is on the backstory. And then diplomatic row with DRC over Ruto's cow remarks. That is on page 5 on the Daily Nation. And then we turn our attention to the Star newspaper. And the main headline, Ruto maintains lead, Raila gains in central, ODM leaders' growth in support seems to have reached a plateau. The story is on page 4 and 5. If elections were held today, who would you vote for as president? William Ruto is leading with 47.1%. Raila Odinga, 35.1%, Kalonzo, 1.5%, and Musalia, 1.1%. I don't know who conducted the opinion poll. It's a Radio Africa monthly survey, and they usually do that. And also, we look at the Standard newspaper, make or break for Raila, Ruto in BBI ruling. Kenya is at a political crossroads as it awaits the Supreme Court's verdict on whether the BBI reggae will continue or come to an abrupt end. Whichever way judges rule, there will be winners and losers. The story is on page 6 and 7. The rich to pay more for NHIF under proposed tough changes. That is on page 8. An ICC witness was coached to fix Ruto, claims lawyer. Defense team accuses past witness in the Hague case against lawyer Paul Gishero of double dealing by tampering with witnesses while also working with prosecution during investigations into 2007 election violence. The story is on page 4. UDA sets date for party nominations. That is on page 10. And Harambee starlets locked out of Aucon. That is on the spot page on page 53. So that is what we have on the leading newspapers in the country. And also, let me just look at another newspaper, the People Daily. And the main headline, all systems go as IEBC gets 22 billion Kenya shillings for polls. That is what we have on the front page of the People Daily. And then we turn our attention to some papers from across the continent. Very quickly, I'll just take us through. The Guardian from Nigeria, young Nigerians defy CBN ban, gamble on risky crypto assets. The Punch still from Nigeria, the main headline, stations run out of petrol, scarcity paralyzes states. And then New Vision from Uganda, how Nakawa, Naguru land was shared out. That is the main headline. And Daily Monitor still from Uganda, charge to state in Lumu's name, stop this torture. And Bambazi to head Africa Security Summit. Also, I see that on page 6, and woman cured of HIV in the US. I think the same story that I've seen in one of our papers here. And then the Citizen from Tanzania, IGP Ciro opens up on Mutwara killing. That is what we, and Samia holds brief talks with Lisu in Brussels. I think that will form the basis of our talk at 10 a.m. as we look at, the handshake there. President Suluhu, extending perhaps a handshake towards the opposition, but that is our conversation at 10. Samia affirms SDGs vow. That is also from Daily News from Tanzania. And Habari Leo still from Tanzania. Samia atoa mbinu maendeleo endelevu. I think the version of the other one. Okay. And then Daily News from Zimbabwe. Welshman meets Thokozani Kupe, but former deputy prime minister during the GNU won't join CCC. I think that's another party. And CCC, that is the party for the opposition leader. I remember they left the other one they had because there was a lot of wrangles, and they formed their own party. CCC takes aim at ZEC. All right, so that is from Zimbabwe. So that is what we have on the front pages of some of the leading newspapers in the country. Others from, we started with the Kenya ones, and also the ones from across Africa. At this point, I'm joined by Daniel Wesonga from Nairobi. Daniel Wesonga, very good morning to you.
Yes, a very, very good morning to you, Miriam Ogutu. Good morning to our viewers who are watching us from Nairobi, Kenya, East Africa, and the rest of the world. It is my pleasure to be on the conversation this morning.
Okay, it's nice to have you. And before we get to matters, politics, and other current affairs, I think usually it is a tradition on the show to keep up with President Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy and just highlight some of the things that the government is doing. Others from the national government and others in collaboration with the counties, just to know what is happening and how President Uhuru Kenyatta continues to see that he accomplishes at least some of the things that he set out to accomplish, even as his second and last term nears to an end. Okay. So there is, a paper here. I think from the other day we did not get time to get a look at it, but I think it has very important information, so I kept it. And so Sleepy Villages spring to life, 30,000 schools connected to power as rural electrification programs comes calling. The Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy Corporation has connected nearly 30,000 schools to electricity in the last 9 years across the country. The REC CEO Peter Mbugua says the corporation is working round the clock to connect schools in rural areas across the country under the last mile connectivity, a project that is expected to boost internet connectivity and facilitate the government digital literacy program. Mbugua is in a signed statement noted that REREC has connected 22,927 public primary schools either through the national grid or solar power. Some 4,500 schools have been installed with solar PV, while 18,427 have been connected through grid extension, said the boss. And Mbugua added that the electrification status of public facilities across the country stands at 71%, with a total of 53,443 public facilities electrified out of the 89,334 targeted under the corporation's 2018-2019 to 2022-2023 strategic plan. I think when it comes to this electrification, the rural electrification projects, this was one of the smartest ideas and very impactful initiatives that the Jubilee government undertook. Would you not say so, Daniel?
Miriam, I totally agree with you. And if you have to take a walk around the rural areas of this country, you realize that electricity is no longer a problem. The country is connected to the grid across the board, and even the remotest village, even schools and whichever facilities that are there, we all have them connected to our national grid in terms of electricity. And I believe Kenya, apart from Egypt, Libya, and many other, maybe northern, the Maghreb countries, Kenya is the second, maybe in that particular order of a country that has the most people connected to the electricity. And remember, this has been done through, within a span of a very, very short time since President Uhuru Kenyatta took the government. The former President Mwai Kibaki, on his beat, did quite some good job in making sure that electricity went to the village schools and all that. But you understand that it was only the schools that perhaps were able to get the electricity by then, but local homesteads or local people were not maybe able to get the same due to high cost of connectivity. But now with the rural electrification coming through the last mile electric connection, people were able to get electricity connected to their homes due to the reduced cost of connectivity and the subsidy that was given by the government of Kenya. So to me, I believe we are quite well off in that. And just maybe to add on that, I believe that is what the economy really needs, because one, we have been able to connect almost every rural homestead to electricity. Two, you have seen how the president has been working to make sure that the road connection, the road connectivity also penetrates the hinterland and the most rural economies, especially where farming is being undertaken, are able to ferry their goods and services all the way to where they are needed. So I believe President Uhuru Kenyatta has been touching on the most effective or most incentive sectors of the economy to ensure that our economy grows. And I remember just the other week I was discussing this with another friend of mine, and I was telling him Kenyans might not see the results or the impact of whatever President Uhuru Kenyatta is doing today or maybe even tomorrow, because these are major projects. Major projects have long-term returns. We might start seeing them maybe in the next 5 years or in the next 2 years. The implications and the advantages, the roads that President Uhuru Kenyatta is building, maybe after that time, a particular time. And when I had the deputy president, whose brigade has been saying that Kenyans do not eat roads, and in the same sitting in Nyeri, he says that we could be maybe be farming avocados and selling them to China so that we are able to pay our Chinese debt, or maybe we could be keeping dairy cows and selling our milk to Congo, who he called watu ya kucheza Lingala na Lukumba. You really wonder, is this milk going to be exported to Congo if we do not have good roads? Will the avocados from a farm in Kinangop or maybe even in Garissa be able to reach the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport if we do not have good roads? So it really beats logic for those who try to dismiss the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And also in terms of connectivity, you realize we do have in rural areas, for us to be able to even harvest and process avocados or even milk, we need to have cooling facilities which will enable this produce to reach its targeted market, be it in East Africa, be it in Europe, be it in China, in the best condition as it came from the farm, without any kind of blemish or any kind of deterioration. So you realize that we need all these things, and President Uhuru Kenyatta has been doing whatever is of priority to the economic boom in this particular country. And I understand he's an economist who is well educated from the best university in America, and therefore perhaps that is why he chose these particular projects. And Kenyans soon are gonna see it. They say that the best benchmark of a leader is not when he's in power, but after he leaves power is when now you'll be able to see what good he has done for the country. You saw it with President Moi. When Moi was in power, people were crying, saying Moi is a dictator, Moi is doing this and that. But once he left power in 2007, 2008, they said, yes, Moi was bad, but he was able to see this country through peace and prosperity. Kenyans cried about Mwai Kibaki in 2007 when he was in power, but once he left, they were like, Kibaki was quite a good president. He gave us free primary education. He did this for us. He did that to us. Today, President is in power. Kenyans are still complaining, but later on, they'll realize that the only major road network that President Mwai Kibaki did was Thika Superhighway, and all these other remaining roads have been done under President Uhuru Kenyatta. All these electricity connectivity, the last mile connectivity program has been done by President Uhuru Kenyatta, and therefore, once he retires from power, you'll see again Kenyans appreciating him, because I believe he has done more even than Kibaki did. And therefore, we shall see those maybe the fruits of his work maybe in the next 2 years or 1 year or maybe 5 years, who knows? So Miriam, I believe that was a very, very noble initiative and project. I submit.
All right, thank you so much. And let's move on still with President Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy. And we know that food security is one of the key pillars in his Big Four agenda. Just a few things that are happening, and perhaps go through 3 stories. Yes. Doc, you back?
Yes.
Good morning. Sorry, you had a bit of a technical hitch there.
Yes, but I have my new offices in Mombasa right now. I arrived from The Hague, Miriam. Good morning.
All right, good morning. So we were just going through President Kenyatta's legacy just a little bit before we get into the politics.
Yes, thank you very much, Miriam. Thank you very much for holding the fort in Nairobi. I want to thank you very, very much for what you have done over the last 4 days of the ICCO3. And the way things are shaping up, we shall see in the other programs. But I want to look at the legacy. What has the legacy of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta done? The legacy has shown us across this city of Mombasa, right now, wherever you are, you can see there is something. There is a Mombasa that you want to fly to, Miriam. You won't miss. You won't miss this one when you want to come to Mombasa. You will be on a flyway like in Stockholm. If you are in Sweden, you will see interchanges. You will feel roads. You see the cleanliness. People are painting their buildings in anticipation of new tourism that is going to come across in Kenya. And this is very good for this country. This is very good for people to continue with this type of development. Some of the African countries which are now in Brussels, Miriam, they don't have even a road. If you look at our country, my friend, I have to be very honest. Nairobi has done very well. At least President Uhuru Kenyatta has finally dug a road. But since Kampala was created in the years in 1884, we have one major road on the Kampala Road, which there is no improvement. There is no improvement at all. And yet we sink money. But again in Uganda, when you go outside Uganda, Kampala City, there is something. You can see the roads have been done. But I don't know why the presidents of that country hate Kampala City. It has not improved. Yet it has the potential. It has 7, apart from the palatial buildings that you see on the 7 hills. You know, Kampala has 7 rumors in a day. 7 good rumors. Each hill has a rumor. So that the buildings are good. But my dear, infrastructure, which His Excellency President Museveni, please do something about that Kampala main road. Even if people complain, let there be flyover, flying in Kampala. If you come to Nairobi, if you came to Nairobi like 20 years ago, Miriam, at the moment, you can be shocked. You can say, oh my God. You see, the first time you come out of the airport, you say, oh my God, this is my place when I'm going to have a holiday. We want something like that. Here, to be very honest, Mombasa here, where you are, in Nairobi, in Mombasa, in Lamu, in all cities of Kenya, Uhuru has dug the soil that our forefather, that God made for us. Interchange Mombasa before you come to this. The Mombasa is going to be a real island, like in New York. You are flying from South New York to North. You see the water. You can feel you are crossing to another area. Uhuru has brought that back. He's darker that one. If you go to the port, this side down, this side here, the port, oh my God, this guy, if we had another 5 years, I think this country will be a country where you can come back and it's like a Dubai. Infrastructure, the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta lives on. The President Uhuru Kenyatta must leave a legacy in the right hands. And we should be very frank and talk about this. We are not going to leave a legacy to a thief or thieves. We are leaving a legacy to the right hands. Miriam, you asked me about the legacy, and that is it. It is there. You can see. There is no place in Kenya where there is no tractor, no grader making noise, smoke going up, because they are digging a new road. There is not there. Ruto is driving on the roads that Uhuru Kenyatta has made. And when he reaches there, he says, oh, I don't know. He said, I don't know, President. We don't want, I don't know presidents in Africa. One of the things that I disagree with President Museveni is maybe I agree, sorry, let me begin with what I agree with When he wants to come for you, he comes for you. Yes, there is no basic structure here. Miriam, there is no basic structure here. If he says he's going to Congo, he goes. Have you seen what he has done now? He got, before, I don't know whether you can permit me to divert a bit on that. He went to Senegal and created one of the most powerful body on the continent of Africa. And my friend Pierre Lumumba, you have a case with me. You thought I could not know you are one of those in Congo, in Senegal. Professor, I am a very senior man in Africa. There is no intelligence system in Africa that will lie me. You know, Miriam, what he has done? He has created the Global Africa Security, headed by the former Prime Minister Amama Babazi. And you know, I want to congratulate Amama Babazi. In fact, I'm going to seek him and a Zoom meeting. We have to bring him here on security matters on Africa. He's my friend. I'm going to call him. Miriam, when I was doing security conflict resolution final thesis on Great Lakes region, I want to thank Amama Babazi. People had refused to give me documents. He said, why do you refuse to give a man documents? He can't come to Uganda, but give him the documents to use for defense. Because I wanted to write on Congo, the conflict of Congo, Rwanda, in Kisangani, the occupation, this, and see how we can solve it. He said, give him the document. These are the type of leaders we want in Africa. But the type of leaders that are going to say, every time they want to tell us story, Makani, story. The legacy of Uhuru, Mungai Kenyatta. If we get somebody like a Baba can continue. Because Baba also has got that construction thing in him. Raila Odinga has got that construction thing. He likes constructing. So Kenya will become the best example of Africa. And as we shall be seeing in the second session of this topic of our show, things are working very well. So I am glad to be back on the continent of Africa. Thank you very much, Miriam, for holding the post. And by the way, before I go, congratulate me for having trended. I've trended. I am the man trending #1. My showdown with Mr. Harvey, Nelson Harvey. Wesonga, why haven't you told Miriam this good news? So that you can congratulate me also. I'm trending #1 on Twitter in Kenya. It's me. I'm trending. I finished Mr. Harvey. He can't come back on this fight because I told him where he belongs. And I'm told UDA people are considering his candidature in Westlands because the statement hurt the boss so much. The boss said Batanga is correct on this one. The guy was the lawyer for NGOs that bought witnesses. And everybody, instead of writing down here, tell Miriam, because Miriam and others to hear, that because you are an expert on computer, I've been trending, man, the whole night, even today. This morning, I'm #2 now. Something else has taken over. Sagana meeting is taking over. But I was #1 yesterday. Thank you very much. That's all I can say. Right from Mombasa, Kenya, and back to the continent of Africa. God bless you.
Okay, and just some additional, perhaps, information here on President Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy before we move on to the rest of the headlines we have on the papers. Well, all smiles for 5,000 mango farmers as authority installs food fruit processor, and that is another mango farmer, Mr. Hamesa Hassan Galole, hailed the CDA for capacity building farmers through training on harvesting and mitigating post-harvest losses, which has really improved quality of the produce. Speaking during a tour of the plant, CDA Manager Director Dr. Mohammed Kinan said the plant covers mango farmers from Tana River, Garissa, Lamu, and Kilifi. So that is just one part of it. And also, village and big after embracing drought for tolerant groundnuts. Groundnut farmers in Taita Taveta County are reaping big from sale of crop after the county government started giving them incentives to venture into planting the crop as drought tolerant. I'll not get into the details, but I want us to go somewhere with this as we look at one of the key pillars of President Kenyatta's agenda, that is food security. And another story is the Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Services has certified the Bangaboi Self-Help Group in Meruga, location in Taita Taveta County, to produce and sell certified potato seeds for production. The certification will help farmers in the Taita Hills to get access to certified potato seeds following years of trial and error over which seeds to plant and the challenges of importing the seeds from very far. So that is just a few things that the government is doing in conjunction with the county government. Even as we look at President Uhuru Kenyatta's food security, one of the key pillars in his agenda. How can we ensure this food security by ensuring we do have value addition of some of the crops? Because you see countries like the US, they do have seasons where they can't plant. Like right now they can't plant. The winter is coming to an end, but they can't plant during this period. But you'll never hear that the US there's scarcity of food because they've learned and they've embraced technology, so they're able to save up for the seasons where they are unable to get any fresh produce from the farms. How can we bring technology in how we produce, and how can we empower our farmers? Because I remember one time, my village, my parents would just plant normal maize or normal whatever. It did not do so well. So one day I went to the Kenya Seed Company, and I said, because they have to give you seeds depending on the weather pattern from where you're going to plant that. So after that, the harvest was good. So how can we create awareness and this kind of information, even as we look at Kenya being food secure, to try to address the issue of food security as a whole?
I think, thank you very much, Miriam. You have raised a very good point there on the food security. When President Uhuru Kenyatta made the Big Four agenda, one of the tenets of the Big Four agenda was food security. And food security in every country, a country without food is a country without anything. If you don't have a human being eating, then you'll have no patient to treat, or you'll have more patients to treat, because either they will die of hunger, or they will not have food, and they will have increased the number of the cases in hospitals. So food is very essential to a country. And you have raised one of the cardinal points here. How on earth does a country that where Europe, we have winter, we can't grow crops, but they have never asked for food? And we people who have got, the weather is throughout. It's throughout the whole year. A good weather, a good climate, a good rivers, a good vegetation, a good everything. We have water. Some places have water. We are not able to grow food enough for our people. This is something that Kenyans should think of, instead of thinking only going to power, or instead of getting, I want to get power. I want to get into power so that I can defeat so and so. Let's think about the food security. How can Kenya have enough food so that every year we don't call for food, we don't call for, Red Cross. Let's call for something else. But this man of Red Cross surely is calling for food for Turkana, calling for food for Tana River, which has plenty of water. Have you seen where the river, Tana River, flows? Plenty of water. At times when it comes, nobody has harnessed it. Nobody has harnessed this water to utilize it, like Egypt. In Egypt, Egypt relies on River Nile from Uganda. And they release the water, and you look at Sudan alone. Sudan grows a lot of maize, cotton. In those areas, they use the river, our river, and the river, the Lake Victoria, which God put there for all Africans to use, to even export plenty of cotton, plenty of rice, plenty of sugar, plenty of all the items needed for food in Egypt. But here in Kenya, where rivers are in plenty, we have not been able even to turn a model of one of the farms. We tried somewhere in what was that place in Tana River, a rice scheme, a scheme where the Israelis went, and then people called the money again. People money, the maize was not enough. I think Wesonga should know some of the things. The pilot scheme in Tana River. So you raised a very big point, Miriam. The question of food is very important. How is Kenya prepared to change this thing of Sirikari's idea? Yeah. It's very annoying. It's very annoying, my dear. When you see a man who has land receiving food from Qatar or from United Arab Emirates, where the entire area is a desert.
Very true, Dr. Matsanga. And of course, we need to have such lessons where our farmers are told alternative methods of farming, or maybe drought-resistant crops that could be able to persevere the harsh climatic condition of certain areas of this country. But this is a country where our land, 60% or 70% of our land actually is very, very fertile and could actually grow any kind of crop, so long as the farmers are provided with the requisite education and information about what they are supposed to farm in a particular area. But unfortunately, we don't take advantage of that. Unfortunately, those who are in the Ministry of Agriculture, who should be telling farmers of their acidity or the pH level of their soil and what kind of crops are supposed to be grown in a certain area, are not doing so, because you realize that in areas where that has been done, we've been reporting success stories. If you go to areas like Kinangop, where we are doing potato farming, they're actually doing well. When you go to Trans Nzoia, where they're doing maize farming, they're doing well. But these people who are in the Ministry of Agriculture has left these prerogatory to the farmers of Kenya, where they think that maybe someone in Turkana could concentrate on growing maize, someone in Garissa could be concentrating maybe on trying to grow cabbages, whereas in that particular area, perhaps something like sorghum or millet could have done better because they do well in more drier lands and all that. So I believe it's really, really a big shame for our country that a country like Israel, which does not even have a very fertile soil even to grow anything on the surface, can be producing and be sending apples back to Kenya. A country like Egypt, Egypt is a desert, despite the fact that the River Nile actually passes into it. It is primarily a desert where they have innovated a way of irrigating the land around the river and being able to produce abundance. And that is what is holding the economy of Egypt since the times of Pharaoh and the olden times. So I believe with the rivers that we have in Kenya, River Takwel, River Yala, River Tana, River Athi, we could actually be able to turn around our way of doing agriculture and be able to export the produce not only here in Africa, but also in Europe. Remember, our produce can wake up to the call and be able to maybe do some overhaul in the Ministry of Agriculture, get away those people who are always sleeping on the job. If you have to go to the government departments, you ask someone, maybe the most lethargic, the most inactive ministry in the government, they'll tell you, go to the Ministry of Agriculture, because there is where someone goes to work at 11 and by 2:30 they have already signed off and they are off. They're not working at that particular moment. Why can't we have that ministry be overhauled so that we have people who are proactive put into those positions, people who are able to do research, people who are able to engage farmers, and more so the young people who are jobless in this country? They can be taught on how to venture into farming. You do not need to own a land today in Kenya for you to be able to do farming. We have we have a lot of people who go out in places like Narok, in Kajiado, where we have vast land where the Maasais have not yet sold their land or maybe subdivided it, and they are able to rent it out for a small amount of money and do farming during the seasons where we have rain. So I believe, Miriam, it's just a matter of sensitization. It's just a matter of the Ministry of Agriculture doing lobbying and doing the requisite education on farming to our farmers, so that you do not find yourself maybe in a place like Ukambani, where mangoes could do better than maybe doing maize farming. We still have farmers who are still trying to scratch the surface and do their maize farming, over which at the end of the day, they'll get disappointed. So civic education is very key, and doing research and educating our farmers is the next thing. But you can see the kind of neglect that we've been having in our farming and our agriculture, in that agriculture has become a practice that is actually loathed and hated by farmers because of disappointments. And these are not disappointments because our country is deficient in any way in farming or anything else. It is because of lack of proper education and knowledge on farming that we are having across the farmers of this country. So if we can do things right, then we can overtake even the likes of Egypt in exporting fruits and other horticultural produces. We can also be able to produce enough food to feed ourselves and sell it to our neighboring countries. You'll be surprised, Miriam, on how much food imports are coming to this country from Tanzania and Uganda. You can be surprised on how much horticultural produce is imported from Egypt and Israel and other Middle Eastern countries. So we need to do better, Miriam, I submit.
Okay, indeed. Thank you so much. And you know, President Kenyatta just signed a bilateral trade deal between Kenya and UAE. I mean, these are the people we should be feeding. Because what are we going to take there? These are the people who should be feeding with organic produce in this country. And I think this challenge is to the Ministry of Agriculture. They have to change their policy. They have to leave their offices, go into the grassroots. I know when you hear the Ministry of Agriculture, all attention is just on NCPB. I mean, food security is not just about maize and beans. We do have a variety of other, produce that is produced in this country. And if every region is empowered according to, the main produce they're able to, to bring out according to their weather patterns there, we will have the variety and everything that we need in this country. We have to change our policies. Ministry of Agriculture must change its strategy, must start doing things differently if this food security must become a reality. I don't think we have any other ways. Yeah, Kenyans are agitated because they're hungry. If we're able to sort out this issue, we'll have a very peaceful and calm country, I promise you. If somebody is fed very well, they will not even bother who is the president. They'll just go cast their vote and go on about their lives. But the reason why we see a lot of agitated people around is because on top of not having jobs, on top of everything else, food is very expensive and they don't even have it. So if that can be sorted, we'll be halfway into realizing this. So perhaps embracing technology, embracing issues that's to do with value addition of the produce we have in this country, and others will go a long way in realizing a food secure Kenya. So we will continue talking. Doc, do you have anything you need to add before we move to politics?
Go to politics, Miriam. Wesonga raised the issues of, and you have also raised the issues of officials. Who are the officials? Officials in Africa have become political. Everybody is political and money. I've seen this. If you talk about something in Africa, the first thing the minister, the first thing the PS, the first thing the officer, agriculture officer, district medical officer asks, how much? It is That is the syndrome that has killed Africa. How much? Even when you look at the presidents who have gone to the European Union, as we shall come and see the European Union security meeting in Brussels, we have to be very critical about some of the issues. They are not, you know, the first thing that in the delegations that they have carried, I haven't seen the Kenyan delegation yet. I don't know who is there and who is not there. But I'm telling you, among them, they have carried people who ask how much. That's why you have a problem, Miriam. The officer negotiating for your seeds want to find out how much fertilizer, how much money he can make on the fertilizer bags. And that is costing Africa great. That is not only in Kenya, it is everywhere across Africa. So for President Uhuru Kenyatta, look at Karuru, is it Karuru? Karuru irrigation scheme. Karura, is it Karuru? Yes.
Gala Kulalu.
Gala Kulalu. It was a mega scheme, irrigation scheme that we thought by now Kenya would have a full-fledged everything of theirs.
And Doc, I've just seen from whatever I was reading from, I've just seen the same Galana Kulalu farm. Apparently, they've been producing a few of their maize, and so they're saying they want to sell the maize to the highest bidder. So somehow there's some farming that has been happening from the Galana Kulalu farm. I don't know if it is the same farm that was riddled with a scandal, but
yes,
apparently.
when the president changed the minister,
That is going on there. That's good.
Yeah. Yes, when the president changed the minister after us making noise here, it is us. Actually, our television should be credited with making noise. We have made very credible noise, sensible noise, not bad noise. Some of these things, the government has looked at them by basing on some of our, filings, which we have been making here very early in the morning, Miriam, for almost 4 years or 6 years now. We have done our best. We have been saying that, look, the Minister of Agriculture, who doesn't know whether it is called locust or locust, or locust, or locust, or rucust, you don't know. When he changed that minister, the minister who came in became very tough, that you cannot bribe him. And you can see now, the maize is on auction. That's credit. That's very good. When the court sentenced Mr. Waluke, they sent a very dangerous signal. Some people stopped stealing. Corruption almost ended, came to a standstill in Kenya. You do not enter an office and start to suggest a deal. But when Waluke was given a free walk in the park and told you your case will be heard in 2028, when maybe all of us are not there or still there, but very old, yet that case, if you look at it, Miriam, that case lost. One human being went down with bullets. It all started on that maize. Those were free directors, and the lawyers who ate that money are still working on our Facebook, boasting that they are very good lawyers. Yet Mr. Jacob Juma has gone down with bullets. It all started with Waluke maize. The money was not handed over to this, that. When Waluke was sentenced and asked to pay 1 billion shillings, the whole of Kenya was happy. No sooner our happiness dried very fast. People came back and said, Waluke is again campaigning very vigorously. It can be done. That it can be done. All hope is not lost. It can be done. One of the things that our country, Uganda, has is they have food. we have food, Miriam, and you know very well that food, you might have not gone there, but a friend has gone there and told you the type of food they cook when it comes on the table. At times you might think that we should have a plane to airlift some food to Ethiopia, because it's plenty. And when you look at the child in Ethiopia crying for food, a small portion, some of us who have got those humanitarian lives, you feel like, am I eating this food when a child in Ethiopia is sleeping hungry? A child in northern Uganda, in northern Kenya, in Masabit, in Turkana. But these things are possible. We could have drilled. The governors should have started drilling boreholes in Masabit, in Wajir, in Moyale, in Garissa. In these areas, their biggest budget should go into boreholes for their cattle. But you find the MPs in Nairobi from Northeastern telling you we could not register our people because they were looking for water. Isn't this misplaced priority? Billions of shillings. Duale has been, in fact, Duale has drilled more boreholes for his camels on his farm than the rest of Garissa. And then he comes back here and tells them that we are with the hustler. We are hustlers. If you go and count the amount of boreholes on Duale's farm, which were corruptly, these are the boreholes that were supposed to spread across Garissa. The rest of Garissa, people look for animals, they enter in Al-Shabaab areas, Miriam. My sister, these are some of the most dangerous things that have shaken me and that make me very, very sick as an African. You can blame Museveni for everything, but you cannot blame Museveni for making Karamojongs wear shirts and trousers. They used to walk naked. Can I repeat that for you to hear? You can blame Museveni for many other things, but President Museveni made Karamojongs, and the Karamoja district grow vegetables, cabbages, tomatoes, carrots, bring it to Kampala instead of us. For years and years, we are feeding these guys because they were busy roaming naked, killing people, going to Kenya, cattle rustling, stealing cows. Museveni stopped it. Go to Karamoja today. The purest water that you can drink, Miriam, without even putting any chemical, is in Karamoja. The wells, the pumps, the boreholes for animals. In fact, the people in Turkana can cross over and come to Uganda. This is the way our shows are informative. Our shows are community-based. Our shows are encouraging people. If you can emulate from Karamoja in Uganda and build more boreholes, but what you see the governor of Turkana is to wear the latest shirts from Turkey and also run on national platform that he's the governor of Turkana. The people of Turkana are fully behind you, Your Excellency. They are fully behind you. Mr. Deputy President, we shall vote for you. Only that after 2 weeks, he looked behind and he saw nobody, Miriam. Have you seen that with Daniel? All the people are gone. All the people are gone.
But, Doc, I get your point, and drawing parallels with the Karamoja community there. I think we must get our priorities right as a country. It's about time. The county, especially the county leadership, because right now we just can't take all this burden and put it in front of State House. The county leadership, they do have the responsibility, and then in areas where they really need to coordinate with the national government to achieve some of these things, then they should do so. So we really need to get our priorities right, especially in our counties. So I don't know if that will be done soon, or we shall continue, allocating more money to salaries and wages and all that, and just a very meager 2 or 5% to things that actually impact on our people in these counties. So priorities, priorities, priorities. I think that is where we are having a problem, Doc.
I don't think we have a problem there. You are right, we have a very serious problem.
Yes, our county leaders, they don't know to prioritize the needs of the people.
Yeah, but we elected the people. You look at this. You elected the governor of Turkana.
Yes.
Mr. Nanok spends most of the time in Nyayo estate with his second wife or fourth wife or fifth wife. I don't know. He flies to Karamoja, to Turkana to see the residents, just to sign checks for more money.
He's supposed to stay there. He's supposed to stay in Turkana. They're supposed to stay in these counties.
That is why Dr. David Matsanga, all the time I've said, your constitution in Kenya was wrongly done in the sense that you should not have had a native of that county as a governor. Because if you are a commissioner working for the people of Turkana, you will only go home during Easter or Christmas. The rest of the time you will be on the ground. If you come from Mombasa or if you come from Migori, you will be on the ground in Turkana, or you will be on the ground in Kiambu. You only go home when the holidays are declared. But when you elect kings, kingpins, paramount chiefs, Douglas comes from, I've seen Douglas has joined us. Meru, you have a political king there. A man who has made huge money. He's my friend. I don't want to go into the details of how he made his money. But he's a great friend of Dr. Masanga. Very good friend. One of the people who gives me respect in this country, apart from president, there are about 6 people in the hierarchy of this country, from President Uhuru Kenyatta, and another person I cannot name here, another one there, and Raila Odinga is number 3, and number 3, you find another lady, then you find the governor of Meru. Gives me a lot of respect. Even when I find him in any of the hotels, meetings, or anybody bumping in the lobbies, he lifts the chair for me to sit, then he pulls the chair. And he says, Matanga, without this man, this is what he has told everybody. Whenever we meet, without this man, our 2 younger men or 6 people were going to go into the ICC. That is Governor Kiraitu. Congratulations, I give you apparently all the people in Meru like me. You see Munya, Minister Munya. He was a minister of East African Community. And one of the people who was in Kenya, I don't want to mention the name of the minister, they had gone for a meeting in Maraba, in Busia, opening that one border post. You remember? One of these ministers in Kenya cabinet made a very terrible, a bad statement regarding my name. I'm telling you the truth. Munya told her that no. You cannot, madam, you cannot bring this type of nonsense in this meeting. Dr. Matanga is a very valuable person. He helped our people in Kenya. That was Munya. He's my friend. I've never done anything more than that, but he saw that sense of nationalism, just as Kiraitu. But when it comes to governorship, I would have preferred for people, a man from Kiambu to be the governor of Siaya. I bet there would be a lot of development, Miriam. By now, your road to Game would be
our roads are good. I was just there recently. Our roads are fantastic.
Yes,
from my house all the way to
so for you are lucky. Governor Rasanga has done very well.
Well, yeah. The roads are good. Electricity, almost. In fact, I think in every home, if I'm not very wrong, very few homes. But almost every home in my village, we do have.
So that's the president's legacy.
Yeah, we need the legacy. We need someone to continue with what Uhuru has been doing. And our message every morning, don't hate us, viewers. They will come subjects for Africa, for Nigeria, for whatever you want us to talk about.
Especially with this rural electrification, I've seen tangible results, especially from my village, because that is what I've seen really happen. It has really transformed. So the local secondary schools right now have been transformed to boarding schools. And so children are able to stay in school and read and just concentrate for those who can afford to board and all that. So that has really brought tangible transformation in my village. What I've seen happening, it's really amazing. So it is a good thing that the government thought and implemented, and it is continuing to implement. Doc, before I know our time is gone, but before we leave, there's a story here that has been making headlines and trending. So maybe we just look at it quickly, and then maybe we take a break and go on to the next show. And that is Kenya's ambassador to the Democratic Republic of Congo, Dr. George Musafu, was yesterday on a diplomatic charm offensive to calm tensions triggered by Deputy President William Ruto's comments, which was seen as disparaging to Kinshasa. The envoy yesterday admitted there have been negative reactions to comments by Dr. Ruto about his host country's inability to keep cows. Attention has been drawn to the Kenyan embassy in Kinshasa regarding remarks on the DRC's agriculture sector attributed to Mr. William Ruto, while the political campaign trail in Kenya. I read the envoy statement that curiously didn't address him with the deputy president title. The embassy has informed the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Nairobi of the negative reactions that the comments have triggered among the business community and general populace in the DRC. So while President Uhuru Kenyatta is busy building bridges and building better diplomatic ties, DP seems to be burning some of these bridges. I don't know, maybe I start with you, Douglas. You just joined us. DP's comments on DRC.
A very good morning to you, Miriam Ogutu, and also to Dr. David Matanga and our friends across the world. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where they're watching us from. Miriam, thank you. To dive into your question, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya is not a diplomat. You cannot just go around the country causing unnecessary tensions between our countries. The President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, and the Right Honorable Raila Odinga have done so much work to make sure that Kenya benefits from the very relationship between the DRC and also the people of Kenya. And when these efforts are made by the Right Honorable Raila Odinga as the top official for infrastructure at the AU and also the President of the Republic of Kenya, even when he was the chairman of East Africa Community, Miriam, you do not get to a point where you go around causing sparks between countries because of your accuracy statement, because you want to campaign, Miriam. And this now brings me to what I've been telling the people of Kenya. Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya is a warmonger and is a man who has now run out of content and he cannot fit the bill for the President of the Republic of Kenya. You cannot be campaigning for 4 years and in the last 1 year you mess everything, including our relationships with the countries and also very friendly countries like the Democratic Republic of Congo. Remember, the Republic of Kenya has invested even in military assistance to the Republic of Congo, has invested a lot in the private sector. The Equity Bank of Kenya is a huge investor, actually one of the biggest banking sector investors, the financial sector investors in the Republic of Congo. We have so many Kenyans working in the Republic of Congo We have so many farmers having huge tracts of land because the Republic of Congo is a huge country, and we have this good relationship between these two countries, courtesy of our president, who is a soft diplomat, very excellent diplomat, and the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, who is good at networking and making sure that our country is put forward in terms of investment, in terms of tourism, in terms of good relations with our neighbors and also friendly countries, and even trying to get beyond where we are to get more countries to arrive with Kenya and become great allies in terms of development and also in terms of growth as countries or in the continent of Africa. For the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, it is a shame for a top official and number 2 in the Republic of Kenya, Miriam, to go around causing tensions here and there. And he has realized now that his international demeanor or international image has diminished, Miriam. It was except Uganda and Dubai, where he goes around to meet Aruna Edin and Miran, where he has been meeting the people who have been behind the stealing of money that was meant for Arod and Kimwarel dams in Eregio, Marakot, Miriam. What else has Deputy President William Ruto helped this country for the last 10 years? We have had contrast trips by the President of the Republic of Kenya, Right Honorable Raila Odinga, and people who are patriotic to our soil, to our blood, and also to our fatherland, who continue sacrificing a lot of their comfort to make sure that the Republic of Kenya is put on a global map. The recent one was the President of the Republic of Kenya, who was in Dubai. I think he's not jetted back. If he's jetted back, it is a great move that he has been able to bring more investors in the Republic of Kenya. And these gains are being drawn back by His Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. The other day, we saw Raila Odinga on a private visit to India. And when the Prime Minister of India met him, they talked and also spoke about issues that continue touching on the lives of the common people, Miriam, and also our republic. But for what does the Deputy President does? Goes around insulting other countries and also demeaning their people, calling them they're just singers, they can only compose songs, calling them the land of Kandabongo man. Miriam, this is a republic. The Democratic Republic of Congo is a sovereign state. It's a democratic. It is guided by a constitution. It is guided by their leaders, led by Felix Tshisekedi. And Miriam, as we continue watching what Deputy President is doing, we continue asking the President of the Republic of Kenya and like-minded Kenyans to come together so that we can deny this warmonger an opportunity of becoming the President of the Republic of Kenya. It is no longer tenable for us to allow this person to take the reins of power in this country. He is going to mess this country and ruin us forever and draw back the gains that we have made as a country. I submit.
Okay, thank you so much. And of course, these comments by Deputy President William Ruto was brought to the attention of the world by, I think, DRC's ambassador to the African Union. Her name is Ambassador Francine Muyumba. And she had tweeted and said, Mr. Vice President William Ruto, this is really unacceptable. With all due respect, there is a need to withdraw this statement. If DRC did not have a single cow, how could Kenya sign economic deals with DRC? Equity Bank, as we know it right now, is currently making money in Congo. This is an insult. And of course, yesterday, the Deputy President apologized, which I thought was a bit backhanded. It was apology, not a backhanded apology. And the ambassador responded to that apology and said, a direct message to the Deputy President of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto. Dr. Ruto must simply withdraw his contemptuous statements against our country, the Democratic Republic of Congo. So as I said there, even the apology was a bit backhanded. Daniel Wesonga, surely somebody like the Deputy President in his stature, even when you want to make statements and make metaphors and all that, we should be careful about what we're saying.
Absolutely, Miriam, I agree with you, and I agree with the sentiments of Douglas Krimi Bundi, my brother from Meru, that being in the office of the Deputy President comes with a responsibility, and therefore he should even be responsible with his own tongue, whatever he talks about, and especially when it comes to matters international and our regional neighbors, because, William Ruto has a bad manners of talking badly to his political nemesis and people who are opposed to him. And I think it is the same kind of arrogance that he takes even to our neighbors. in that particular manner. He talks to DRC as if he's talking to Raila Odinga. His usual style of bravado, demeaning, and of course trying to just cajole people with using the wrong choice of words and actually making trying to make a fool out of them. And even the Bible, Miriam says that do you see a person wise in their own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than for them. And that is the William Ruto we are talking about. William Ruto is always a one-man show. Even in UDA, I can tell you for a fact, I have very much intricate insider information about how the parties run. William Ruto has no advisor. William Ruto has no assistant. He's the boss. He's the master. And he's also the advisor to himself. In his kingship court, there's never a wise man. There's never anyone who brings advice. He chose Abab Namwamba the other time to be his minister for international relations and diplomacy. You can really wonder if he ever seeks the advice of Abab Namwamba before he opens his mouth to talk about DRC being a country of watu ya kucheza Lingala na Kandabongo man, and saying that they don't have even a single cow. Miriam, we have cows being bred in the eastern side of Congo, and actually being that it has some of equatorial climate, it has actually the best environment where cattle farming and most so the dairy farming can take place. You realize this is the same region where we have the Virunga National Park. We cannot have all those animals which adapt to the tropical kind of rainforest environment, and you tell me that the people in that particular region do not even own a single cow. So I think it was, above all, it was demeaning to the people of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Congo is a very, very mineral-rich country. Congo is a country that is well endowed. Apart from the leadership crisis that they have had here and there, you realize that it's a very, very, very well-blessed country in terms of resources. But nonetheless, he makes these remarks at the height of Congo's enrollment into the East African community. These are country which has actually applied and wants to partner with East African community. It's just akin to when maybe you have a neighbor, or maybe someone who has not been part of your family, knocking at your door, trying maybe to come and mend fences and be able to work together. But maybe as they stand at the door knocking, they hear one of the family members, the wife of the house, talking about them in a bad way. They will not get in. They'll actually now say, we put a halt to this particular truce engagement and maybe working relationships until maybe we are guaranteed that your wife is not going to derail and maybe disdain us in the way maybe our home looks like. So I think it was ill-intended, it was in bad faith, and it actually paints a bad picture of Kenya towards its neighbors. It actually makes other neighbors of Kenya think of how low Kenya imagines of its neighbors, and it's not something good about this country. And not unless William Ruto apologizes in no unequal terms, I don't believe even Congo is going to buy the kind of shallow apology that he gave out there. It was not an apology. To me, it was some kind of trying to justify himself and not trying to own up the wrong that he did to the people of the Democratic Republic of Congo. And for William Ruto, I believe he is so arrogant in nature, in that he believes his arrogance is not actually wrong to other people. Unless maybe you find it a problem to you, to him it is not a problem. And that is why he said, perhaps Congo might have picked it wrongly, but it was wrong from the onset. Even a layman reading that statement will tell you this.
Very well, Daniel. We have to end now. Because you do have another show.
Before you end, yes. Can I make my contribution? Miriam,
yes, I was coming to you. You make the comments and then you end the show for us.
The good thing that we have done here is to analyze the truth and nothing but the truth. We have stated our truth, and we shall continue to say our truth until Jesus comes back on the third day, if he is going to come back, or we shall meet wherever we can meet. May God help us. But one of the things that you should not forget about William Ruto is that I've told you Kenyans. I don't know whether you want to listen or you don't. This young man, William Ruto, is is Nikolai Machiavelli. He has 3 characters. Nikolai Machiavelli had 4, but Ruto has actually 3. One character is if he doesn't like you. If you are a woman and you are beautiful, never pass near William Ruto, because you'll have a problem. That's character number 1. If you are bright and you are better, you are doing very good business, never accept William Ruto to say, I want to be part and pay something to join your company. Character number 2. If you want to outshine His Excellency the Deputy President William Ruto, don't ever go near his group. They will misunderstand you. Briefly, let me explain number 1. All of you saw the Congolese ambassador, how beautiful she is. And Miriam, I'm being honest on this one. Don't even doubt me. One of the reasons could be why William Ruto is even angered is one way or the other. He might have tried to talk to this lady for business in Congo, to entice him to come and even make him part of the concubines. I'll tell you one thing, Miriam, what happened in our country. I can give you an example when we were offline. There's someone there in Uganda who has lost a job, a very lucrative job, a lady who lost a job in a very high office because of that. Someone approached the person to buy maize, and that person is no longer, even the government doesn't want to hear where the person is. The second character is if you are doing business, either Tshisekedi has refused the business. Listen here, look, Miriam, either Tshisekedi refused this man business in Congo because he went there to grow maize in Congo Brazzaville. You remember the farms that were printed all over that he has got a farm in Congo Brazzaville. The same he has got a farm in Zambia. The same he has got farms in Zambia and a farm in Uganda. I know one of the farms that he grows this maize. If he comes into business partnership, be careful about His Excellency Dr. William Ruto. You might either be swallowed or you might end up in prison. So Nikolai Machiavelli of Africa is here. A man who plays with intrigue, a man who has no diplomacy, a man who can say anything, thinking that I think he thought that ambassador was Raila Odinga. He could even tell you that in Eldoret we grow maize. What is that? Siaya grows what? Are you seeing my point? Siaya grows what? If you think I'm maybe wrong, let me tell you the truth. Mrs. Ngirichi, Daniel, Douglas, Miriam, didn't you read what Mrs. Ngirichi said? Herself in her mouth on TV. She said she thought she had joined a party. But when she saw the party going excessively, the party leader was excessive. So she will explain. You know, you can look at women. There are women who come to work with you professionally. And there are women who might come to work with you with intentions. Never be confused to judge those two categories in the same way. Because you might get a rude shock. I'm giving advice to Mr. Daniel and Douglas. Be professional. When you disagree professionally. That they will not point a finger back at you and say, this is what I wanted to do. So it didn't surprise me. And I want you to take one word, consolation to your hearts, that the first thing is the correct one. The lady in Congo did not want to say many things because she's a diplomat, but she has told some of us quietly how she has been harassed by telephone conversations. I rest my case. There's nothing that I say on this TV, Miriam, which is a lie. I swear you will cross-check one day, somebody will tell you Matanga was correct. So I say it with evidence. She has been harassed. She has been, sent so many things, trips, hired planes. So these are some of the hazards of our younger president that you want to elect. Afadhali ni kufe na baba. Baba, Azimio. Yes. Miriam, before we leave the subject, there is something I want to make. That our show of yesterday made 80,000 views. 80,000 views. The one of Nigeria autopilot. We should clap for ourselves. I think I have received more than 1,400 text messages until my phone is full now. I need to remove. I don't know. Wesonga will teach me how to remove some of the things. It's full. It is not receiving any more text messages. And saying they want me to help to file that application. We had 80,000 views, and they are going up to almost 100 by now, 1,000 views. Thank you very much, all of you who took part. Thank you very much, all of you. Yesterday was a great day for those shows, both the one of ICC and the show of Nigeria autopilot. Autopilot, sorry. So here we are. Thank you. And the last one is my employee, former employee, Mr. Honorable Didi Nyoro. Wesoka, can you read that for me? Congratulations, Didi Nyoro. Wesoka.
Yes,
can you read my post, my former employee? Yes, read it for the audience.
All right. Just a minute, I'm retrieving it.
Miriam, miracles happen in this world, I'm telling you. I think hustling is there a miracle that happens when you're hustling?
Yes, I can go ahead, Dr. Matsanga.
Go ahead.
Yes, and it says that you are paying Didi Nyoro some stipend to appear. Can I read everything? Or?
Yes, exactly, as it is. And Stephen can bring it on the screen.
Yes,
you see how many people, hundreds are now coming on it saying, hey, yes.
Yes, you're saying categorically that I was paying Honorable Didi Nyoro 5,000 Kenyan shillings to appear on my television show every week. How did he get majority shares at KPLC? Did he use the 5,000 Kenyan shillings I gave him to be richer than me? Whose shares are these? How did he rise to so fast than the rest of the hustlers? Mambo ndio hiyo Didi Nyoro. I think that is it, and it has more than cumulatively more than almost close to 400 reactions right now and 6 shares.
Thank you very much. I wish he told us how he made the money. Miriam, he has majority shares in KPLC. which you are lucky you don't pay extra, you don't use a meter. So are those meters that were loaded on us? Hey, what? This is the president you are electing.
I don't want you guys to come here and think I steal their power. I have the old meters, but I think majority of Kenyans now have the new generation.
No. You are lucky because you have not paid the price of these new meters through KPLC.
Yeah.
And you can now hear how Mr. Jindi Nyoro has made money. He has majority shares in KPLC. Jesus Christ. And he's being mooted as a person who might become the deputy president, a running mate. Have you heard about that? So where will this country be? Mr. Ndindi Nyoro, look at your uncle. You left him behind on the streets of Nairobi, of Kenyatta Avenue. Please send something to buy shoes. And make sure that they are Marks and Spencer shoes. Because your uncle wears only Marks and Spencer shoes. Thank you. Anything that you have seen Douglas on the show, on Twitter about Denison Harvey, can Douglas tell us what you saw? As we move on now, Miriam, to the next topic, which is very interesting, it will take us up to the opening session of the ICC, which we anytime. Yes, Douglas.
Doctor, for Nelson Havi, I have nothing to write home. He has been badly exposed by the show that he did with you. I don't believe that he's going to do any other show together with you because the people now know the truth. Everyone, the Scorpion team and everyone was on his neck across the country. And we believe that more truth is going to come out about Nelson Havi because Nelson Havi is the same man that wanted William Ruto jailed at ICC. Why is he turning his back today and saying that William Ruto is the best thing that happened to Kenya after the sliced bread? So, Dr. David Matsaga, I have nothing to write about that Congolese. And he has not condemned William Ruto for the spat about his people in Congo. So the man from Congo should be able to issue a statement strongly condemning the deputy president, who is also his party leader in UDA, for the spat on his people, the Congolese people, the lovely Congolese people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All the time, Douglas Karim. Yes, Daniel, yes.
Yes, maybe I would just like to add in. I believe, Dr. Masanga, on that one, you hit the chameleon both on the head and the tail. And those of us, you could see the kind of uneasiness Nelson Havi had at that time. He wished the ground could open up and swallow him at that particular moment. So it was a moment of truth for him. I don't believe he will ever honor any invitation where he knows you're attending.
Yeah, he can't attend because he knows very well I'm deadly when I have a microphone. And thank you very much, Miriam. Thank you very much. Let's take a break. When we come back, we have a very interesting topic of diplomatic leaks that will take us to the summary of the opinion. But from now onwards, Daniel Wesonga be bringing us trending on Twitter and what is on social media. Please, you are a social media guru with Douglas Kirimi. Please bring us some of those topics so that for us, I and Miriam, we are very bad people of looking for those things. We are quiet people. Miriam, first of all, she's not on social media. Me, I'm on social media. I do dare to educate, but we shall talk about them as they come. Let's look at what President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga have done as an example in Africa, which is spreading like a fire across Africa. It's spreading. And Miriam, maybe before we go for break, you remember the show we did on Tanzania a week ago, 80 days ago. You remember? Bring that show up, and then you will see that I'm always very right. I'm always very right. Douglas, you've got glasses now. You have come to the Department of Eye Therapy. eyes go as we grow. Yes, thank you very much, my son. Then look, the show we did on Tanzania. Remember? Yes, didn't I tell you that something was moving in a direction that is going to shock the East Africa? I always talk when I've had something going on. I don't talk without facts. Let's take a briefer.